Hey there! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we'll explore one of the most popular anime movies to date, Sword Art Online: Ordinal Scale. Before we begin, there are major spoilers ahead for those who haven't watched the series, so viewers, beware. On November 2022, 10,000 players of the game Sword Art Online, a game produced by Nerve Gear, a VR device manufactured by Full Dive. However, on its launch day it was discovered that the players have been trapped in a cruel death game. Once they get the game over, the players die in the real world. Until a couple of years ago, thanks to the sacrifice of Kirito, everyone was freed. The movie is set in the future, where augmented reality, AUGMA, is released to the public. Its purpose is to compete against the Amisphere, another VR console. The AUGMA's biggest advantage is it allows users to stay conscious while using the device, eliminating the risks that happened before. AUGMA has also introduced a game called Ordinal Scale, where every player is given a number that ranks them. As they progress into the game, their ranks improve. Once the player reaches the upper levels, players receive benefits from companies in the real world. AI singer Yuna, the mascot of AUGMA, also contributes largely to its popularity. While at the mall, Kirito is convinced by his friends, Lisbeth, Silica, and Asuna, to play Ordinal Scale after news of Aincrad, the monsters from the game SAO, have appeared in the game. Asuna and Kirito make it to the designated meetup for players, where they reunite with Klein, an old friend they met from SAO. Once Ordinal Scale had been activated, players are instantly in a boss battle against Kagachi the Samurai Lord. Yuna appears and suddenly sings for the players, giving them a buffer to help them defeat the boss. The battle begins, and players are defeated one by one. Kagachi seems to be too strong for the players. Kirito can't fight normally because he's out of shape and lacks real-life fighting skills to defeat the enemy. Just then, a man enters the fight to help them defeat the boss. This man, ranked number 2 in Ordinal Scale, is named Eiji Nachizawa. Asuna moves to make the killing blow, but before she can reach the monster, she hears Eiji whisper "Switch," a game mechanic from SAO. Asuna is named MVP, earns a kiss from Yuna, and is given a reward for her efforts. Some of the players rank up, while Kirito fails to receive anything from the raid. After the players have gone home, Eiji is seen cornering another player who's hunting for items. The next night, Asuna joins Klein and his group in another raid at Yoyogi Park. Once she gets there, she notices one member is missing. Klein explains that they failed to contact him and so they're going on ahead without him. Asuna splits up from Klein's group. Again, just as the battle starts, Yuna appears and sings again to give boosts to the players. The fight continues on. Eiji appears with a second boss and injures the other players, specifically Klein's group. Eiji succeeds in breaking Klein's arm, rendering him unable to fight in Ordinal Scale, and uses Klein as bait for the enemy. Meanwhile, Asuna joins other players in defeating another enemy. Because of her strategies, they manage to injure it, while Asuna makes the killing blow. Shortly after that, news about old monsters from SAO showing up in Ordinal Scale blow up on the internet. Not only that, but a book called The Complete SAO Incident Records had been published. Because of this, there's been a surge of people who want to revive SAO. The next day, Kirito attempts to train in Yoyogi Park using Ordinal Scale. Just as he activates the game, a girl in a white hood appears before him. Kirito attempts to help her up, but his hand goes straight through her. Then, she points at something in the distance and says something incomprehensible. Asuna arrives at the park, and she recalls that back in SAO, Eiji was a member of the Knights of the Blood Oath under the name of Nautilus. She further explains that back then, Eiji was diligent but couldn't overcome his fear of death, making him unable to participate in a single raid. But now, he seems a little different. Yui, Kirito, and Asuna's virtual daughter, suddenly claims that she's found the spawn patterns where the SAO enemies showed up. As it turns out, the places where the enemies appeared coincide with the dungeon in SAO. Yui deduces that the next one will appear in Shibuya that night. Away from his other friends, Kirito instructs Yui to send him the boss's location data to his phone. Kirito, having noticed that Klein is missing, tries to check up on him but gets no response. That night, Kirito sees the same hooded figure, only this time she can speak. Having confirmed that she's not a ghost, Kirito asks what she wants, but she just continues to point at something before disappearing. He then gets a call about Klein, finally learning that he was in an incident in Yoyogi which broke his arm. When questioned, Klein apparently just said that he ran into some trouble on the way to the ordinal scale raid. Thinking something weird is happening, Kirito messages Seijiro, an old investigator from SAO, and calls in the favor Seijiro owes him. Meanwhile, Lisbeth, Silica, and Asuna join the next raid in Shibuya. Like before, Yuna appears and sings, much to Silica's delight. The battle begins, and Kirito joins the boss fight secretly. Meanwhile, Asuna confronts Eiji by the sidelines, saying that she recognizes him from the previous SAO game. Suddenly, a second dragon-like boss appears and seems to only target Silica. Eiji blocks her escape, letting the boss come close enough to attack her. But Asuna runs and sacrifices herself, making her unable to continue the raid. An orange bead appears from Asuna, which is collected by a nearby drone. Kirito sees all of this happen and confronts Eiji, but the latter is too powerful for Kirito to even make a move. The battle ends and Asuna is taken back home by Kirito. That night, Asuna dreams of a structure falling to its ruin while Kirito walks away from her. As she calls out to him, Kirito doesn't seem to recognize her. Asuna wakes up, realizing she's unable to remember some of her memories. She calls Kirito right away and tells him what happened. The next day, Kirito and Asuna visit the doctor, who tells them that Asuna's brain shows signs of having certain areas scanned, specifically her memories from SAO. The doctor explains that because Asuna keeps reliving her SAO memories, the neurons connected to them were identified. Multiple cases from other ordinal scale players have been reported in the past few days, meaning someone in the AR game had been doing this. Not long after the doctor visit, Asuna's condition worsens and she faints. Once she regains unconsciousness, Asuna is unable to remember anything from SAO. Kirito also visits Klein at the hospital, where he learns that Klein is also starting to lose his memories from SAO. Kirito decides to get to the bottom of this to help Asuna and Klein. In Ogma, Kirito sends an anonymous warning to players of ordinal scale. In the message, he says that if players fight the SAO bosses appearing in the game, then their memories might get erased, just like what happened with Asuna and Klein. However, the message gets badly received after players commented that Kirito just wants to hog the points for himself. That night, Kirito joins the boss battle at Tokyo Dome while looking for Eiji. Sinon, Akashino Asada, appears and joins him. Kirito expresses his concern for Sinon, but the latter reassures him, saying that she's not an SAO survivor, meaning her memories are safe from the monsters. The battle begins, and both Sinon and Kirito activate Ordinal Scale. Thanks to Yui, the pair learn that the SAO bosses have been rearranged all over different raids in the city. Yui sees an orange bead fly out from a fallen player and follows it inside the drone. Before she can go further, a warning system stops her. Meanwhile, Kirito and Sinon fight the boss to the best of their abilities. Though Kirito struggles for a bit, he eventually deals the final blow. After the battle, the pair realize that Eiji wasn't at the fight. Kirito recognizes Yuna as the hooded girl, but before he can get close, she disappears. Yui also makes it back to Kirito and tells him that she couldn't find out more about the orange bead because she got blocked. But she did discover that whenever players were killed, a mysterious program would activate. Kirito, Yui's, and Sinon finally figure out where the hooded figure was pointing before by having Yui plot the whole map of Tokyo. They discover that the place is Todo Institute of Technology, where Ogma's developer, Professor Tetsuhiro Shigenura, currently works. Kirito visits him during a lecture and asks him about the invasion of the user's perception of reality, hinting that Ogma may not be so different from Full Dive after all. Shigenura refuses to answer and ends the class early. At his office, Kirito asks the professor if he knows about the memory loss affecting SAO survivors. Shigenura denies any involvement in the memory scanning, saying it wasn't possible. Also, Shigenura asks why it would be a problem if people lost their memories of SAO, further stating that it would be a blessing for them to forget their pain. Before leaving, Kirito notices a picture of a girl in the professor's office. He calls Seijiro, who tells him that Shigenura had a daughter named Yuna, who also resembles the AI singer, Yuna, who died in SAO. Elsewhere, Eiji hangs out with Yuna in Ogma, where the latter asks Eiji to read to her. Before he can start, Eiji gets a call from an unknown number. The voice tells him that the next step of their mission has been laid out and asks about Yuna. IG responds that Yuna seems to be exhibiting interests other than singing. Sometime after, Kirito sees the hooded figure once more. He finally recognizes her as Yuna and asks a barrage of questions. She ignores all of this and tells Kirito that if he wants to save his friends, he needs to level up his rank. Kirito decides to speed-run multiple raids, enabling him to rank up faster. After a battle, IG appears. Kirito tries to attack him, but gets flipped over easily. A message from IG flashes before Kirito, saying he should come to Yuna's live concert where IG promises to return Asuna's memories. On the day of the concert, multiple players gather at the Tokyo National Stadium. Kirito meets up with IG at the basement, and the two duel as the concert starts above them. While they fight, it is revealed that Yuna's brain had been damaged severely by nerve gear, to the point where it was impossible to restore or save her. But if Shigemura collects SAO memories of Yuna coming from other players, then he can use deep learning and resurrect his daughter as an AI. Furthermore, anyone who gains the #1 rank in Ordinal Scale, which is currently empty, will become immortal. And so, Shigemura has plans to make Yuna the #1 player. Down below, Kirito removes the source of IG's power and defeats him. However, instead of saying how to gain Asuna's memories back, IG just laughs. He tells Kirito that with so many players concentrated in one area, the drones will start scanning their memories, and then Yuna will come back to life. Bosses appear inside the stadium, and large-scale battles ensue. Kirito hurriedly comes back to the concert, while calling Seijiro. The investigator warns Kirito that the drones could damage people's brains while scanning their memories, and it could potentially lead to their deaths like nerve gear. Kirito sees the fighting and joins in. Meanwhile, Yuna appears in front of her father, begging him to stop this nonsense, but Shigemura insists on bringing her back to life. Still at the basement parking lot, IG is informed by the professor that his memories will also be harvested because he was with Yuna the longest in SAO. What else did he expect? And then, an SAO boss appears before IG. But since his equipment got damaged, he's unable to defend himself. Elsewhere, Kirito and his friends fight monster after monster. Unable to convince her father, Yuna appears before Kirito and tells him that Ogma has a hidden feature which can only be unlocked by defeating the Floor 100 boss monster. Aided by his friends, Kirito confronts the final boss. An epic battle unfolds, one where their past abilities from SAO get restored, thanks to Yui, and this allows everyone to defeat the monster. A sword is rewarded to Kirito, and they all return to the concert venue. Yuna sees that Kirito's rank has gone up to level 1, making him practically invincible at this point. Kirito easily eliminates all of the monsters with his new sword. Yuna's silhouette appears before her father for a brief moment to say goodbye. Shigemura is then found by Seijiro's team and arrested immediately. After the chaos, the singer Yuna says goodbye to her friends, returns Asuna's memory, and thanks them all for their help. Kirito and Asuna also fulfill their promise to each other and watch the meteor shower together. And that concludes our movie recap for today. We hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to give this a big thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Until next time, bye.